Today we're doing two NBA player props here on PrizePicks for Friday, December 15th. Before I get started, you guys, link in the description below of this video. You can hop into our premium Discord, $9.30 per month, 31 cents per day. It's where I post all the plays I'm making on PrizePicks. We also have other premium cappers in there as well. Post all their plays, research, and analysis. Super positive community in there. Everyone just in there trying to help each other cash. We got every member, all the members posting their plays, their thoughts, their reasoning for specific plays and things like that. So again, link in the description below for that. I also want to mention I'm not a gambling expert, and this is not financial advice. These are simply just the plays I'm personally looking at making, hopefully giving you guys some insight and analysis to make your own player prop decisions here. Again, no one's pressing submit on those parlays other than yourselves. But let's get right into it, you guys. I got two player props here. I think one of these plays will probably end up bumping by tip-off or by the time these games start. But yeah, let's get into this. So the first play is going to be points plus assist prop, and I'm looking at CJ McCollum over 23.5. I think if Zion gets somehow ruled out for this game, which I believe I'm going to get to in a second, he's iffy for this one. I think this bumps up to 25.5. Even right now, with Zion playing, I think this is a very solid play as well, given the matchup and given just CJ McCollum's usage. So we look at CJ over this line in 4 of his last 5 games, over it in 2 of his last 2, specifically since that massive blowout against my Lakers. 27 and 28 over his last 2 games here. And we look at this matchup, a home game for Charlotte, which hopefully helps them keep this game close. Charlotte actually has been in some pretty close games as of late without LaMelo Ball. For some reason, it seems like they've been playing a little bit more inspired. But Terry Rozier, Brandon Miller, Hayward, Miles Bridges, and Nick Richards, I think they can keep this game competitive, especially if Zion doesn't play in this one. We look at Zion, and again, I'm not hindering this play on Zion playing or not, but he is iffy, is questionable, and is in danger of missing his second straight game due to a left ankle sprain. So again, keep that in mind. Zion's out. I think this line bumps. We look at CJ McCollum all over on Outlier. Again, you get a 7-day free trial with Outlier. Link in the description. You can get a 7-day free trial. It's a research betting tool that I do use every single day. Currently odds -130 on DraftKings, -125 on BetMGM to go over 23.5, and CJ is over this line in 8 of his last 10 games. That's why I'm not really too sure the reasoning behind this line, but over in 8 of his last 10 games. And I mean, really before he had that punctured lung, he was really starting to go crazy. We looked kind of towards the beginning of the season. He had games of 34 and 38 PA against some pretty susceptible defenses. Again, similar defenses that are pretty susceptible to guard play. We look at Charlotte just giving up the 26th most points in the NBA, along with the 23rd most assists in the NBA. So in general, it's a pretty strong spot. And we look at CJ without Zion Williamson on the floor this season. He averages 24 points, 24.4 points, and 6.9 assists. We're talking about CJ averaging 30 plus points plus assists with Zion off the floor. This is a per 36-minute average, right? So with Zion off the floor, CJ averages 4.3 more points, along with 1.5 more assists per game. Sees a 7% usage bump with Zion off the floor. Obviously, Zion not a crazy heavy usage player, but nonetheless, that type of offensive force off the floor, CJ is going to see more usage. We look at CJ over the last 11 games on the road this season. He is averaging 10.7 potential assists, and like we know the type of player CJ is, he could score 24 points. Like, he could easily just score 24 points and call it a day. But I'm taking PA because he is the point guard in this offense, and he does just have the ball in his hands a ton. He is making 52.4 passes on the road this season through 11 games, which is, again, it's extremely high and obviously creates for a ton of potential assists. And he's averaging 10.7 assists and 7.7 adjusted assists, which are like assists that were like, a basket, but they called a foul or whatever it may be. So super great spot. Obviously, the Hornets are horrendous, second worst defensive rating in the NBA. We look at, you can see here, other point guards, other guards, lead guards, essentially versus the Hornets this season. We've seen numerous guys smash the over on this line. We saw Emmanuel quickly have 26 PA in 26 minutes. We literally seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 different guards. I say lead guards, or I say guards in quotes because, CJ is a guard, point guard in this offense, but, primarily a shooting guard, offensive scoring guard. We look at the numerous guys that have smashed this line. We look at his points plus assist game log this season. Again, like I said, great hit rate. Only under this game in 3 games, one being the game against the Lakers here, where he finished with 11, which, again, was an absolute blowout, only played 25 minutes. And then all the way dating back to October and November, right? He missed the time with the punctured lung. I think he's really starting to get his win back under him. He had 27 PA against a very tough Minnesota defense in 29 minutes. Also had 28 PA against a very tough, or not a very tough, but a Washington defense on the road in 32 minutes, 28 PA. So it's a great spot for TJ McCollum here. Like I said, Charlotte just allowing, what is this, the 7th most assists to opponents overall, and the 5th most points to opponents overall. Great spot. Buying low, in my opinion here. I think this bumps if Zion gets ruled out. This is the first play. Second play is going to be a PRA prop, and it's going to be one player that I personally, as a Laker fan, I do like a lot. And I like to see him do well. And he has been playing really, really well as of late. It's going to be Julius Randle over 38.5 points, rebounds, plus assists. And I don't think the books have kind of adjusted to Mitchell Robinson being out here. We look at Julius. He's been playing well, extremely well. Over in 4 of his last 5 games, 39, 52, 28, 48, and 50 PRA. And in these last 2 specifically, which I'll get into in a second. We look at Julius. These are his last 2 games, and these coincide with Mitchell Robinson being out, right? And Mitchell Robinson, obviously, he's not like a super offensive savant in the paint, but he's big and he can't spread the floor, so he absorbs a lot of space in the paint. And I think with him being removed and out of that lineup really creates a lot of opportunity for Julius Randle to operate. 50 PRA against Utah and 47 PRA against Toronto. Again, all we need here is 39 PRA. We look at Julius, like I said, over his last 10 games. Been playing super well. Over 35 PRA in 8 of his last 10. Again, these 2 unders, under 35. Some tough matchups here, but again, over in 6 of his last 10 games, 39, 47, 47, 50, 50, and 52. So we know kind of the sky or the floor for Julius Randle is very high, and the ceiling is very high as well. We look at the Knicks, right? Julius Randle with Mitchell Robinson off the floor, right, over the last 15 days per 36 minutes, which we could see Julius Randle playing that tonight. 31.5 points, 9.3 rebounds, 5.3 assists. This dude's literally averaging close to 48 PRA over his per 36 minutes over his last 5 games when Robinson is off the floor. We look over an outlier again. Over his last 10, he's over this, or over his last 5 specifically. Over this line in 4 of his last 5. Current odds, -120 on FanDuel, -119 on Caesars. And I'm taking PRA because I definitely think Julius could go off for like 30 points tonight because, again, it is an elite matchup. We look at Phoenix PRA defense versus the power forward position. They give up the most points in the NBA to the power forward position, and the 6th most or 24th worst rebounds, most rebounds to the power forward position. But we look at Julius over his last 2 games without Mitchell Robinson, 11 potential assists, which is very strong in my opinion for a power forward, making 53 passes, 5.5 assists per game. He's also averaging 15.7 rebounding chances for 9.7 rebounds in 35.2 minutes is what he's averaging. Or actually, this is just over the course of the season. Let's just do the last 2 games without Mitchell Robinson to see kind of his potential rebounds. Let's see real quick. 14.5 rebounding chances. So it's a great spot for Julius, in my opinion. We look at just kind of last season without Mitchell Robinson. You can see kind of the hit rate here when Mitchell Robinson's off the floor. We look at other power forwards or central forwards game log this season versus the Suns. And yeah, Julius earlier this season. Let's see, game log versus Suns. Earlier this season, he did face Phoenix and had 35 PRA. But last season, at home, he had 50 PRA in a game versus the Knicks. So, again, 35 earlier this season with only 5 rebounds and 2 assists. I think with Robinson off the floor, that opens things up for him. 2 plays for this YouTube video. Let me know in the comments below how you feel about him. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button. As always, let's cash.